The very people that I thought I could not succeed without are the people that I have to let go. To be who I've always been did not make sense. Some amazing things have occurred and some not so great things have occurred, but I'm here. I did not realize that dreams can change. I literally had an idea of my life, and it's not happening that way. But there comes a time in a person's life where they have to not care. What up, y'all? I'm RoJay, and this is another episode of the RXS podcast. And as you can see, I don't have a guest today. And today I don't have a guest because I wanted to do something a little different and take this time to show my appreciation and gratitude for everything. For one, God, for two, my family, and for three, you all, like everybody that's been watching the pod and everybody that's been subscribing to the YouTube channels, everybody that's been listening. I want to say thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. Like, my wife and I had no idea that this would be what it's becoming, and we're extremely grateful. And although we are in the early stages, I still wanted to take a moment to say thank you and to show my gratitude for who y'all have shown me that I am. When I say that, I mean, I grew up thinking I was a certain thing. I grew up in an environment where I was taught to be a certain thing. What is that certain thing? That's music, that's being a musician, that's being a music producer. Those are the things that, like, being in gospel concerts, singing, playing, that has been my life, my entire life. And this podcast journey has been a journey that's different for me and what I'm used to. And it is amazing to see what it has turned into and the impact that it has. So I want to also thank everybody that has inboxed me, people who have called me to say, hey, man, this episode touched me, or this clip touched me, or I'm proud of you. Keep going. I want to say thank you to everybody who has reached out, because, like, I don't take it for granted. My wife don't take it for granted. The team doesn't take it for granted. We all appreciate y'all. And I want to say also to anyone out there who's watching this, who is used to being a certain thing or used to being a certain way, or have attached their identity to a certain gift or idea, and you feel stuck. I was that person. I've done so much for so many people for so long, thinking that that's who I was. I've been close to so many people for so long that I honestly and truthfully thought that I could not succeed without them. And now I'm learning that letting them go is the key to my success. The very people that I thought I could not succeed without are the people that I have to let go in order to grab the keys to my success. That's not bad. That's not good. It just is. And I want to encourage everybody out there, like, if you feel like you've attached your identity to a certain thing or a certain group of people, and you know in your heart that there's more, evaluate what you think you believe about yourself and evaluate who you think you need. Because I promise you'll learn a lot. You'll make mistakes. You'll try things. Some things may work. Some things may not. You may have ideas that only work for a season. You may have other ideas that you try and they turn into something you couldn't imagine. And that's just that's how it goes. We pray to God, we ask God to show us, and we pursue things and we try. Sometimes we fail. Sometimes we have to try again. And that's been the thing with me. It's like I've tried a lot of things with a lot of people. I've wanted to do a lot of things with a lot of people. I've seen a version of my life that always involved certain people. And now that I'm in a place where I've decided, hey, why don't I try something that's detached from the identity that I thought was me and the people that I thought I needed? And here we are. This podcast is a product of me making the decision to detach. That's a crazy word to use, but it's the most honest and truthful way to describe what I needed to do. Literally, like being a music producer, working with certain people, needing certain people's approval. This is what it was. Now that I've done this, things have changed. There's more peace. There's more clarity in thought. There's more joy. There's more freedom. Things that I didn't have. Honestly, things that I didn't have. Why didn't I have them? Because how was this person going to feel? I don't want to do this record unless this person is included. I don't want to do this because it's going to make this person feel this way. I don't want to do that because I don't want to be offensive to that person. I don't want to charge that because they charge this and they're going to say that I charge too much. This, and this. And then it's like, finally, I'm like, you know what? This is not working. I've always been clear on what I feel I've been called to do. But because of how I was raised and who I was raised around, I only had one version in my mind of how I would get there. And it left no room for God to like enlarge my territory or shift my thinking. Since I've let go of certain ideas, I've started to see a path that I never would have thought that I would take. And I'm grateful. Some things hurt. Some things are cool. Some things are confusing. The truth about some people hurt. The truth about the reality of having to take another path is scary. It is unfamiliar, but it's necessary. Am I saying this as a victim? No. Am I saying this to vilify anybody or anything? No. I'm simply saying that who I thought I was and how I thought I would get to where I feel God has called me to be turned out to not be what it'll be. And I want to encourage somebody today who was like me or who is like me, grew up a certain way, whatever that way is, grew up in a certain demographic, around a certain people, in a certain culture where there was unspoken expectations or desires of your own that, hey, this is what I've always known. This is how I'm going to get there. Like, I want to challenge you, especially if you feel stuck or if you feel like you're not maximizing who you've been called to be. It is possible that there are certain people that you need to detach yourself from, or certain ideas or a certain version of the story that you wrote for yourself that you have to be willing to tear. Your script, your liner notes, your headlines, rip it up and say, hey, God, you write the story. I'm the main character, but you're the director, you're the writer, you're the producer. I'm here to follow out or follow through with or carry out what you've written for me. And if it's not what I thought, it's okay. If it's not what I expected, it's okay. If it's not what I used to dream, it's okay. As long as your will is fulfilled in my life, and as long as my purpose is fulfilled, as long as my destiny is fulfilled, I'm okay. And I want to say to everybody who's listening, as crazy as I feel, I'm okay. This episode is crazy because I didn't know this would be the episode. At the time of y'all watching this episode, some amazing things have occurred and some not so great things have occurred. But I'm here. I'm going to continue to be here, and you're here. Um, it's your responsibility to show up for whoever or whatever God has called you to show up for. Things gonna get weird. People gonna get weird. You're gonna get weird sometimes. Like, I've been in places where under certain circumstances, I've been the bad guy, or I've done something wrong, or I've misused somebody, or I've said something out of pocket. And I realize that whether it's me or someone else who has done that, sometimes changing the environment and putting yourself in a position where you can really think clearly causes you to take control of your life, where you don't subject yourself to even being in those places or saying those things or feeling those ways. And it also puts you in a position where you build up the proper protection and barriers around you to protect yourself. And yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here to encourage. This is an episode from a crazy place. Crazy is the only word that I can use, because it's not good or bad. It's not amazing and it's not terrible. It's just a place that is the reality of where I am. And for those of you who are in a reality that is not good or bad, in a place where you know what you've been called to do but don't know how you're going to get there, just look around and be willing to let God in and be willing to shift your mind. Be willing to let go of every idea that you thought you could not live without. I did not realize that dreams can change. I did not realize that desires can change. I did not realize that goals can change. I literally had an idea of my life. I literally had an idea of who would be a part of everything I would do for the rest of my life. And it's not happening that way. It's not going in that direction, and it's not with those people. And it's a grief type feeling. It's a loss in a way that I can't describe. But the reason I'm okay is because it's for a greater gain. And I'm using myself as an example, speaking to you all that are listening and watching in such a transparent way, because I believe in my heart someone is going to see this who is in the exact place that I'm in. And I want to be encouragement to you to say, it's okay. What God has for you is for you. And even though it may not be the direction you thought it would be, and even though it may not be with the people that you thought it would be with, God is still going to provide. It is still going to happen. And you're going to be a blessing, and you're going to impact the world. If you're willing to hear the voice of God, if you're willing to try things that you thought you never try, if you're willing to do the things that were in the back of your mind and not the front of your mind. What am I saying? This podcast has always been in the back of my mind. It's been something that we've tried twice before now, but I put other people and other things in front. And I was not happy with the way life was going. It didn't make emotional sense. It didn't make mental sense. And it didn't make monetary sense. To be who I've always been did not make sense. It didn't make spiritual sense. It didn't make any sense at all. And it's like, you know what? I love this. I love them, but not so much that I'll give up my life for it. I can't give up my life for that or them. And for somebody out there, there's a that or them that you have to be willing to let go of. It's tough. It's hard. It may come with conversation. It may come with ridicule. It may come with whatever it comes with. But guess what? What God has called you to do is worth it. Seeing what is happening now makes it worth it. Yeah, I'm just thinking now on how crazy this is and how grateful I am. Like, here's another thing about gratitude. True gratitude is when you thank God for what he does not allow. True gratitude is thanking God for the doors that are closed, locked, and bolted with no way for you to get in. Because that is him protecting you. That is him preserving you. And that is him preparing you to go the way that he has designed for you to go. Don't be afraid to fail. See those failures as an opportunity to try something else or to try again. And understand that if you see a pattern of something not happening or not working, it is either a sign that it is not time or that is not it. If you see something that's not working over and over again, it is either not time or that's either not it. And that's what I'm learning. It's like the audible voice of God doesn't speak to me. So I look for God in situations and things as life progresses. And if I see things going one way too long, I try something else. And then if I see a stride or a pattern or a upstream flow or downhill glide of something that is creating momentum, even if there's good or bad in the midst, if I see that things are flowing, that is normally a good sign that it's working. And those other things, you have to use discernment and you have to use wisdom and you have to use pattern recognition of the past to evaluate what it is. If you're always uncomfortable talking to certain people, no matter how much time goes by, something is being said there. If you always feel uncomfortable in certain situations, no matter how many times you try, something is being said there. If you go to do the uncomfortable thing and it becomes comfortable with no grief or stress attached, something is being said there. So as you're living, as you're learning, as you're deciding, as you're making choices, listen to God speaking through how things are evolving or progressing or digressing or plummeting. Because some things just like fall to the ground. I've made choices for people that have been a waste of time for me. I've done things for people that were not progressive because of my loyalty to the relationship. I've done things that I should not have done because people wanted me to or expected me to, and I didn't want them to talk about me because I didn't do what they wanted me to do. But there comes a time in a person's life where they have to not care. And when I say not care, I don't mean become cold-hearted. I don't mean having a hard heart. I mean detaching emotion from people and things that are not progressive. I mean detaching emotions from people and things that are not productive. And the truth of the matter is, whether we listen or whether we act or whether we respond to it or not, we know. And I want to challenge anybody and everybody who's listening to this and who's watching this that says, hey, that's me. Yo, bro, that's really me right now. I want to challenge you to detach yourself and see what happens. You could be absolutely right. You could be absolutely wrong. But you do know the result of what you've been doing all these years. So detaching yourself and trying something new, trying something different, it's not going to hurt. This has been another episode of the RXS podcast with me, RoJay. Peace.